Becky, oh my gosh, welcome back to episode 6 of Indigenous. I need a fan that says Indigenous on it. Ooh, that would be cool. We are moving right along. It's episode 6. I want to do 10. I also don't want to force it though, so we're getting there, wherever there is. Also, if you are learning English, feel free to use this video as a listening exercise. I do have a worksheet that goes along with this video if you would like that, and then a separate answer document. I can email both of those to you so you can continue to practice your English at an advanced level. My email is in the description below, as well as all my other socials. You can message me on any one of them. But don't be a creeper and stalk me, okay? I know it's hard. Also, to further drive home this point, I don't know if you guys are active on the other social medias, but 3 trans women were beat up, bullied, humiliated, attacked in, I think it was LA. This happened last week. So, education needs to happen now. Low-key. I've been looking forward to this particular video forever, or at least since I started this series, because today we are talking about gender in Mexico. And unless you're new, which by the way, if you're new, hey. Unless you're new, you know that Mexico is kind of close to home for me. I'm not Mexican, but I was born in Guatemala. So these are my Central American indigenous people. Yo, what it do? Also, first language note of the day, don't forget Central America is a thing. Where my map at? Now, this is speaking to people who are learning English. Usually I hear my students refer to North America and South America, which is fine. But when people start referring to countries like Mexico or Costa Rica or Belize, the countries that make up the isthmus in between North America and South America, people learning English do tend to refer to these countries as South America. And baby girl, I love you. But this is Central America, and we do appreciate if you give us our own region. And I know, we are not our own continent, but we should be, because y'all know where the party's at. Hey! But yeah, we're in Central America, so thanks. Next! As you saw in the title, we are talking about the Muxe people. And this word Muxe has such an interesting history. Oh, but where are we? We're in the south of Mexico, in the Oaxaca area, the isthmus of Tehuantepec, if you will. I think that's what it's called. And here you have this ethno-linguistic group of indigenous people called the Zapotec. Their language is Zapotec, but it's actually a really complex language family. It's not just one language. I was looking at some trees online. Language trees. Some trees. Chlorophyll! I was looking at some language trees online, and there's a million different Zapotec languages. So if you want to learn Zapotec, girl, do it, but buena suerte. In this area, there are a good number of people who identify as Muxe, or biological men who express feminine gender, who are the artists, who are the dancers, the cultural preservers. And can I just say, I literally just hit myself. And can I just say, that, pull up that picture. The dress in this region, oof, it's amazing. They make these, Now, if you watch the videos on YouTube about Muxe people, well, some of them are very emotional, because some of these people obviously went through really big hardships, specifically with their fathers. Difficulties being accepted, which I'm sure, well, I'm not really sure, but I feel like I'm sure. The expectation of masculinity in Central America and Mexico is probably pretty intense. If you have a boy body, you're probably expected to be very macho. Mexico and all of Latin America really is very Christian and Catholic, so this makes sense. That religion is a big influence and creates these rigid religious structures. Come on, episode 5, or was it 6? This is 6. Oh God. Come on, no, I still don't know it. Come on, episode 5, nailed it. Those structures are deeply ingrained within the culture. But I did a little bit of reading, and when the explorers, well, I guess we can call them that, when they reached America, like Cortez and all those hoes, they had journals, heavily homophobic journals. And they mentioned same-sex relations, and they also mentioned people not conforming to their assigned gender roles, or non-binary people, or what we think of as the Muxe today. They saw same-sex relations and non-binary gender, and they were like, Felicity, hide your eyes, it's brown people being brown! I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm proud to be an Indigenous person because Indigenous people historically have never been homophobic. You can quote me, it's fine. What time is it? It's time for our linguistics moment of the day. Now, let's talk about the word muxe. In Spanish, the word for woman is mujer, right? Up to the 1500s, mujer was pronounced mujer. Pretty. And then in the 1500s / colonization, it was changing to muxer. So the Europeans were calling the indigenous non-binary people muxer. But then, plot twist, the indigenous people took the word muxer and then they kind of gave their own little twist on it and turned it into muxe. Which I guess makes sense because they were like, well, you know, there's men, there's women, but we're, you know, our own gender. So we're going to change it to muxe. Like, come on. So what this means is muxe is not entirely an indigenous term. However, I did find in a region like, I think it was west of here, in Teotitlán del Valle, the Zapotec people in this region did have a term for a non-binary person, and this was biza'a. At least I think that's how you say it, biza'a, which is also like the coolest word ever. So I'm gonna say it again, biza'a. Everybody say it with me, biza'a. I'm not even drinking caffeine tonight. I don't know what's up. I think it's a sweater. It's cute, right? Unfortunately, I don't have any information, not much, on this term biza'a. I tried to find resources, but there's hardly any on the internet. So that's a good challenge for me, and I would like to circle back around to this video and this topic in the future. So stay tuned. And if anybody has any information on that term biza'a, you know what to do. Comment below, let me know, send me an email. You don't know me like that, but you can.
I love you.
Okay, back to today. Muxe people do face some difficulties in society today, but it does seem like the indigeneity in the Isthmus of Tehuantepec is pretty strong, and there's even a 3-day festival to celebrate non-binary gendered people. It's called Vela de las Intrépidas, where these people have a platform to showcase their talents and their artistry and to entertain, and it looks like everybody loves it, and that's awesome. But it does seem like things get harder outside of this region. Woo! Okay, at this point in this series, you already know what I'm gonna say. Pre-colonially, the people of Mexico and Central America had their own systems of gender, and the Europeans who came had their own system of gender. Unfortunately, today, one of those systems is more prevalent and has more power than the other. And one of those systems is more oppressive towards Native people and in turn has hurt Native people. Ooh, let me whip out this quote. It's written by this researcher, Lynn Stevens. She has this like bomb-ass paper on the Zapotec people. She spent a lot of time down there. In reference to the past and colonization of this area, she writes, Spanish Moors focused on aesthetic self-control and the limitation of sexual outlets as a point of honor, as well as emphasizing a strongly dichotomous and hierarchical gender system that valued males and masculinity far more than females and femininity. Sounds familiar. Many of the indigenous peoples of the Americas were quite different in their gender system constructs and in their ideas about what constituted appropriate sexual behavior. Notice how indigenous women have such a different status in indigenous societies. So again, share this video if you want to teach people the real 411 about gender. I absolutely love what one of the Muxe people said. This person was interviewed in one of those YouTube videos I watched. Porque este ser existe antes de que pude hablarse de teoría de género. We've been around before anyone spoke about theories of gender. Like mic drop. I'm really glad I closed that. Did somebody say mic drop? Honey, let's get indigenous. God. 30's coming up real quick. All right, thank you guys for watching. I really feel like I'm gonna dive deeper into this episode one day in the future. But for now, the journey continues. Next, I'm doing either Australia or something else. But until then, stay away. No, just kidding. Don't do that. Stay here. Stay cool. Stay hot. Stay ready. Because social justice for non-binary and transgendered people never sleeps, and neither do I. Okay, but actually just kidding because it's like 11:30 and this face needs the beauty sleep. Bye!